The Rockets have a big choice on their hands: make amend the future or continue with Sengun as the core. We'll sort them out on this edition of The Nest. Hello everybody, welcome back to The Nest Star XP. My name is Robin, welcoming you back as we continue our rebuild of each NBA team in their off-season. And today we're tackling the Houston Rockets, a team that I have been very interested in keeping up with because I am not a Rockets fan by any means, but I am a firm believer in the fact that I don't think the Rockets are going to do anything with this core until they make massive changes, and that's what we're going to be tackling today, so stay tuned for that. But before we get into it, make sure you hit the like button, make sure you hit the subscribe button, go check out the Instagram and the TikTok for more short form content and for more content relating to the NBA playoffs on a day-to-day basis. Now, like I was saying, I'm a firm believer in this Rockets team needing to make a significant change, and the main change or decision that they need to make is, do they want Amen Thompson or Alfred Sengun to be the core guy of their future? And I'm not saying like KD won't be the number one option for at least the next couple seasons. That's not what I'm referring to. What I'm referring to is like their future, their core, their guy going further. Do they want it to be Amen or do they want it to be Sengun? And I'm more of an Amen believer, so his rebuild, let's start with this. I did two separate rebuilds for the Rockets, similar to what I did for the Phoenix Suns, where one with Booker, one without Booker. And in this instance, I did one with Sengun as the core and one with Amen as the core. And there's some parallels and there's some similarities between them, but overall, I basically just did two separate paths. I'm going to go over both. I prefer the Amen path personally, but if you prefer Sengun, you can obviously go down the Sengun route as well. But we're going to get tackling both of them in just a second. Starting off with the Sengun route, I have them starting off by trading Amen Thompson. There was a couple trade options I made for this, but the one I ended up going with is a pretty simple trade. It is with the Miami Heat, where the Heat will acquire Amen Thompson and Dorian Finney-Smith, and the Rockets will acquire Tyler Hero, 2 first-round picks, and a first-round pick swap, and one of those picks being pick 13 of this NBA draft. So why would both teams make this trade? Honestly, the Heat just, I think, it's weird to say, I think Amen is a perfect guy to fit Pat Riley and the Miami Heat as a whole, and obviously Dorian Finney-Smith is mostly there to match contract because Amen is on a very low budget contract right now, so he's there to match money. But I like this trade for the Rockets because you get another spacer alongside Sengun, which is what you need. You need spacing and you need a creator. And while Tyler Hero is not like a point guard by any means, he is one of those combo guards that can create and can lead the offense in spurts as well. So I like him in that role, especially alongside guys like KD and Alfred Sengun. The next thing I would do is I would try and trade Clint Capella plus picks 39 and 53 for Scottie Pippen Jr. or Trey Jones, whichever one you're able to get from either the Grizzlies or the Bulls. You basically just need a backup point guard to handle the duties behind Fred VanVleet, and getting a better point guard than Aaron Holiday I think would be better. And I like both these guys for the role. It doesn't really matter what you get, it's just whichever one comes at a cheaper cost or comes at this price. The only other thing I would do is I would make sure to re-sign Josh Okogie to play some spot minutes if need be, and then I would extend Tari Eason. I have him as a 5-year, $100 to $120 million deal, 20 to 25 million, maybe pushing 30 million would be okay for him, but just a nice contract-friendly deal for a guy who's going to be coming off the bench for a couple more years, and then once KD retires or gets traded again, whatever, Tari Eason will probably step into that starting caliber role, and then he'll be starting from then on out. And with the 13th pick that you got from the Amen Thompson trade, you would probably take Kareem Lopez. I have him taking him at 13. He's not a bad guy. Long athlete, kind of a raw prospect that can be a little beneficial for the future. And he's moldable and athletic. And he kind of, I don't want to say he replaces Amen Thompson, but he brings some of the similar qualities that Amen Thompson brings with his defense and his athleticism and things like that. And other than that, that's it for the Sengun route. Now the team would look something like this. You have Fred VanVleet running the point guard, Tyler Hero running the shooting guard position, Kevin Durant at the 3, Jabari Smith at the 4, or if you prefer Jabari Smith at the 3 and Kevin Durant at the 4, whatever, that works too. And then obviously Alfred Sengun running the 5. And off the bench you have Scottie Pippen Jr., Reed Shepherd, Kareem Lopez, Tari Eason, Steven Adams, and Josh Okogie. You have some versatility with the bench as well. You could obviously start Steven Adams over like Jabari Smith and have the big lineup. You can start Tari Eason, obviously, if you wanted to, or you could bring Tyler Hero off the bench and start Reed Shepard. It is up to you. You have a ton of versatility with this team, and it's a lot of floor spacing because other than Sengun and Steven Adams, you have Fred VanVleet, shooter, Hero, shooter, KD, we know what KD is, Jabari Smith, kind of a shooter, Scottie Pippen Jr., not really a shooter, but a playmaker and can hit the three as well, Reed Shepard, knockdown shooter, Kareem Lopez, not really a shooter, but Tari Eason was a shooter, not so much anymore, but he was a shooter. He can be a shooter. And then Josh Okogie, he's a solid shooter as well. So you have a ton of spacing and you have a decent bit of defense around Sengun. I think that's what you need, and that's why I like this, but it's not my favorite route that this Rockets team can go down. What I really prefer is this. So going down the Amen Thompson route, I prefer this more just because I'm bigger on Amen Thompson. I think he's a easier guy to build around because he's still younger. And he also, well, actually, I think they might be the same age still. But regardless, I trust Amen Thompson's game a little bit more to develop. And I would rather someone who can't shoot, like that has that limited offensive game, rather than someone like Sengun who is both limited offensively in terms of like his inability to shoot, but also can't play defense as well, if that makes sense. And I think Amen Thompson has an easier path to developing somewhat of a mid-range game or more of a shot creation game alongside some of these other guys. So that's why I like Amen Thompson further down the road. But starting off, I would obviously start by trading out from Sengun, and there's like 4 or 5 trades I made with this. Sengun I think would be a hot topic if you put him on the market. The trade I ended up going with, I mainly went because I wanted to get Houston's first round pick back for next year in case they wanted to take a step back and get another guy to help rebuild with this team a little bit. And the trade looks something like this. So the Nets would acquire Alfred Sengun, and the Rockets would acquire Nicholas Claxton, Terrence Mann, the 2027 first-round pick via Houston, and a 2029 first-round pick also via Houston. So you get your first-round picks back so you can use them later on. You can choose to rebuild and move off Kevin Durant and like tank a little bit more if you wanted to. And you get a starting caliber player in Nicholas Claxton, who also fits a lot better alongside someone like Amen Thompson. He's not a shooter, he's not like a Miles Turner type, but he is a good playmaker. He can move off the ball, and he can do similar passing things that Alfred Sengun was doing with Amen Thompson as well, and he does it on a significantly cheaper contract as well. Once again, I would extend Tari Eason, same thing, maybe a 4 or 5 year, 120 million, something like that. And then I would try and trade Dorian Finney-Smith for Ty Jerome. Obviously, the trade would have to include some second round picks. I have it being 3 second round picks, but Dorian Finney-Smith for Ty Jerome I think is just good. You get another spacer and another creator. Ty Jerome, you might have to give up more for him. You might have to trade I believe they have a pick from, oh no, they don't have another pick, but you may have to trade some more seconds or something to get Dorian Finney, or to get Ty Jerome, because he had a little bit of a breakout to close out the season last year, but his injury history might make him a little bit cheaper, and that's why I think you can sell low on him if you're the Grizzlies. And other than that, I would just sign another shooter or another wing. There's Simone Fontecchio, Doug McDermott, Amir Coffey, any of those guys. You don't really need one because you have your full 10-man already. But if you wanted to move off of Terrence Mann and trade him just for an unguaranteed contract so that you can clear some space and get a better shooter or wing, you can absolutely do that as well. But at the very least, get someone to fill that 10th man spot. And that would leave the team looking something like this. I actually have Amen Thompson starting at point guard with this team, with Reed Shepard running shooting guard, Kevin Durant and Jabari Smith running the 4 and the 5, and then Nicholas Claxton starting at the 5, with Fred VanVleet, Ty Jerome, Terrence Mann, Tari Eason, and Steven Adams off the bench, alongside with whatever shooter you or sign or trade for. So I like this team significantly better. Obviously, if you wanted to, you can bench Reed Shepard and start Fred VanVleet. I worry about Fred VanVleet coming off the injury, but I think either way it would work. I like Reed Shepard as a spacer so that you have 3 spacers and Nicholas Claxton around Amen Thompson, and then you can take Amen Thompson off, bring in Fred VanVleet, and then he can just run this offense a little more collectively. So I like this team a lot better. I had more fun with this rebuild in my opinion, but let me know what you think down below. Do you think the Rockets should go down the Sengun route or the Amen Thompson route? I'm very curious to hear what you think, because I'm a firm believer that the two of those cannot coexist and survive and compete well together. But Rockets fans may disagree with me, and I'm very curious to hear what y'all have to say and what others non-Rockets fans also have to say about this. So let me know in the comments down below. And Like I say, y'all just remember to check out the Instagram, the TikTok, and everything, and stay tuned for the next one. But until then, y'all, peace.